Kings and queens of quarantine, welcome back to another beautiful episode of Under the Radar. Today is about my guy, Deni Avdija, the most unique and the best European prospect in this NBA draft. What makes this guy special is not only he is the fourth pick, but people call him the Israeli LaMelo Ball. That's an odd statement. I mean, I could see it in their games, their similarities, but I see quite a difference between him and LaMelo Ball. First thing is defense. This guy loves defense. He'll do anything to block someone. I mean, this guy has hustle. This guy has the length. I mean, LaMelo, yes, he plays defense sometimes, but this guy plays both offense and defense. And this guy's 6'9", mind you, and he's this quick. 6'9". I more of compare him to a 6'9" Luka Doncic. I mean, the way that Luka just carries himself on the court by dribbling, shooting, and creating for himself and his teammates. I mean, Deni is averaging around 13 points per game. Now, that's pretty good in Europe numbers. I mean, these are the rankings in the Israeli Basketball League. 2.6 assists, and 38% from 3, and 6 rebounds. I mean, if you have those aspects going into the NBA, you're definitely going to be bought. I mean, you're 6'9", and you're shooting 38.7% from 3. That's really good for a big man. That's decent for a guard, but this guy is a power forward. He's a stretch big, literally. I mean, LaMelo's 6'7", but you can slide him in the 3, 2, and 1 position, but you can't push him to a 4 and 5 position. But this guy technically can. And the fact that the Bulls actually might get him. I mean, Luka was a unique prospect. I mean, everybody thought, oh, okay, he'd be a decent prospect in the NBA. He's not going to be anything special, but now he's an NBA All-Star and soon to be an NBA champion within the next 5 to 10 years of his career. I mean, Deni had the best platform he could possibly get. I mean, Maccabi Tel Aviv is actually the best club in Israel. I mean, Israel is one big and massive basketball country. Yes, they don't have a lot of NBA players, but they have a lot of really good international players that are playing around Europe. But the fact that Deni is going to be up next in Israeli history to become an NBA player. I mean, it's really hard to become an NBA player from Israel. I mean, of course. I mean, you got Kai Soto from the Philippines, which is our homegrown talent. I feel so good about myself. But Deni is a homegrown talent from Israel. I mean, this guy is crazy. I mean, he got a lot of achievements in his bag before he arrived in the NBA. Same as Luka. He has around the same and similar achievements. But unfortunately, he has never properly played in the EuroLeague since he's actually the part of the junior team. And European clubs have junior teams, kind of like a D-League kind of situation. Like, they have their major teams, their main teams that play in the EuroLeague, but the junior teams are basically people who learn basketball. They can play professionally, they can have their own contracts, and also study at the same time. So that's pretty neato. And the fact that Deni had that advantage is pretty cool. I mean, these are his achievements going into the NBA. He is a 3-time Israeli champion, 2020 Israeli MVP, a FIBA Under-20 champion, and the EuroLeague Magic Moment. I mean, that's pretty good. A EuroLeague Magic Moment is basically when you have the best highlights or one of the best highlights in the EuroLeague. And the EuroLeague is the second best league of basketball in the world after the NBA. Because Europe is more of a team-esque of basketball. Because like the normal basketball is mostly that, okay, we'll just play properly, but let's leave it to 1 or 2 guys or 3 guys to score. But no, in Europe, it's everybody. Everybody gets some, you know? And Deni saw a lot. I see a lot of potential in Deni, honestly. I see the same thing I saw in Luka. Because I can kind of claim this. Because I remember when my friends would say, "Oh, Luka Doncic is gonna be a piece of shit. I mean, this guy looks kind of thin. I don't think he'll survive in the NBA." But I told them, like, trust me, this guy has bodied up NBA vets for breakfast. When he was 16, he took down the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Boston Celtics with Marcus Smart. That shit's hard. If you're going against Marcus Smart at 17 years old, kudos to you. But Deni is an example of size and intelligence and IQ. I mean, he's following in the steps of Omari Caspi, an NBA veteran and also a Israeli. I mean, Israeli isn't known to be a basketball country, but I know that they're pretty good. I mean, yes, they never really won major tournaments like FIBA and a lot of international tournaments or got into some tournaments, but this guy gives them a stench of hope. Give him some sense of hope. I mean, this is the first time that a guy from Israel is gonna get drafted to the NBA. Because the last time this happened was nearly a decade ago. Or I think a decade ago. Because Omari Caspi got drafted in 2009, and this year will mark the 10th or a decade later of finding another prospect for Israel. I mean, what makes this guy really special is the speed. Normally, in a lot of people in the NBA, like LeBron James and Giannis Antetokounmpo, they have the speed. But Deni is pretty fast. I mean, he moves like a guard. You can't tell him that you're a 4, you're a 5. No. He can run. When I say he can run, he can gallop like a horse. And I find that really, really incredible. I mean, how he dribbles, how he is able to give himself some space with the step back in and out, exactly like Luka Doncic. Because him and Luka Doncic has some similarities. I mean, their dribble stance. Because they're more looking at the ball. Yes, they're not really looking at the ball, but it looks like they're looking at the ball. Because when they're in the offense, they just crunch down and kind of like, you know, the football position in the American football? Like then, you know, that bend. Exactly. But the fact that this guy can be really creative with the basketball. Yes, he doesn't average a lot of assists because the other baggage is with his other teammates like Tarek Black and Amare Stoudemire. I mean, the fact that Amare Stoudemire was able to sort of like gave a hand or a handing help in Deni's development in the post. I mean, the fact that Amare Stoudemire got and became a citizen in Israel because he found his religious roots. That's why he went to Israel. Because as soon as the Big Three was finished, Amare started wanting to play basketball again, like professionally. So he went back to Middle East. I mean, last time he played, he was in Jerusalem in the Champions League. Yes, there is a Champions League basketball. But he signed with Maccabi since there's a lot of former NBA players that are there. They have Amari Caspi, Tarek Black, Tyler Dawkins, Skylar Diggins. A lot of solid NBA vets. And that's what I love about European basketball, because it's very unselfish, it's very clean. Yes, you see turnovers, but not horrible turnovers, like via fast break. Yes, you don't see it a lot, but it's clean turnovers, not like blatant, like, okay, shit, I lost the ball. But the fact that he is the 4th pick, and he can move this fast, there's basically no ceiling for Deni. I mean, the fact that the Bulls are able to hopefully draft him. I mean, the Bulls can, honestly. They got Chris Dunn at the 1, Otto Porter at the 2 or 3. They got Wendell Carter at power. But I propose that Deni should be in small. Honestly, he's 6'9", man. He can hold his own. So, Bulls fans, if you're watching this, congratulations. You might actually get him. I mean, this guy could be drafted 5th, 6th, but right now in all projections, he's actually 4th. So I hope you guys like more videos. Slap that like button because this video is the 19th, the second to the last. Next video, next week, is gonna be the last episode of Season 1. But I'll give you guys more clues of what we're gonna do as soon as Season 1 wraps.